So, for today's anime, you might think it's sadistic, but it's not. Our protagonist, Iruma, was working on a ship when a large wave hit it, and everything came down to it. And while avoiding them, time stopped, and a demon named Sullivan took Iruma to the netherworld with him. Because his parents sold him to a demon, because his parents are such slackers that Iruma worked various jobs from a young age, and now they even sold him to a demon for money. Sullivan, on the other hand, wanted Iruma to be his grandchild rather than torture him. If not, demons in this world will always eat humans for dinner. With that in mind, and given Sullivan's pushiness, Iruma couldn't say no. For quick information on Iruma, he is a total pushover who can't say no to anyone. Now that Sullivan has a grandchild, he has pushed Iruma to attend the demon school, but he must be careful or the demons will use him as a dinner option. And at the entrance ceremony for freshers, Iruma noticed that the director of the academy was none other than Sullivan, and he was always doting on Iruma, so the person about to give the speech was an honored student named Alice. But Sullivan changed his mind and gave Iruma this opportunity. He thought Sullivan had prepared a nice speech for it, but the entire auditorium was getting excited as he spoke. Because the words Iruma spoke were not demon language speech, but a forbidden spell. However, Alice cannot accept that just because Iruma is the director's grandson, he can take his place. So he challenged Iruma to a duel, and to his and others' surprise, Iruma happens to dodge every attack of his. For information, Iruma's previous experience has made him a master of dodging. So, seeing Alice choose to fight in close quarters, he lost control and may have hit an innocent girl, but Iruma grabbed him and delivered a perfect German suplex. The entire audience gasped when the most powerful newcomer was defeated by a weak-looking guy. And then Alice got tone change and began to regard Iruma as his master from that point forward. And with that, they have a summoning ritual for freshmen to summon a magical beast to determine their rank on the first day of school. This test will be carried out by the dreadful teacher known as Caligo. So far, everyone has summoned their magical beast, but Iruma happened to capture Caligo himself. As he attempted to free him from the summoning circle, Iruma happened to throw him on the other side. This means that Iruma made a powerful demon his familiar. Nobody had ever heard of a demon summoning a demon as his familiar. So Iruma came back into the spotlight, and the master-servant pact cannot be broken for a year. That means Caligo is now stuck with Iruma. And then there's Clara, our other main character. She asked Iruma to play with her with a pretty please, but Iruma is such a pushover that he can never say no. The problem is that some guys exploit her innocent personality. Because her magical pocket can create anything, such as snacks or whatever, and Clara was well aware that they were always taking advantage of her. So she attempted to bribe Iruma so that he would not stop playing with her and abandon her. But Iruma had a different opinion because he didn't want those bribes and instead wanted to play with her for real. Not because of her power. So Iruma made 2 new best friends at the academy. So, the other day, all new students were assigned to their classes. However, Iruma, Alice, and Clara were assigned to the most underrated class, the Misfits class. A special class designed for the most troublesome students. Take Sabnik, for example, who trashed a teacher to demonstrate his strength in order to be in the best class. And for the most troublesome class, Caligo Sensei was assigned as their homeroom teacher. He puts everyone to a test to touch the flag and return, but they must take the Warglybe Valley route because it is easier. Another named route contains monsters as well as a large valley guardian who could be dangerous. Everyone started the race to determine their ranks, but only Iruma was left behind because he was human and didn't have a demon wing. So, without thinking, Caligo pushed him off the cliff because Iruma appeared scared, and Iruma ended up in the mouth of the demon crow. While they were taking him to their nest through Cutthroat Valley, Subnik ignored the warning and entered Cutthroat Valley to fight the Guardian, but as the Guardian screamed, those crow got scared and dropped him. But fortunately, Iruma ended up in a nest where the baby bird was injured, so when Iruma gained its trust and wanted to treat him, a drop of blood fell and healed him, surprising Iruma. As a thank you, the baby bird took him to his parents. And that's where Subnik would have died if Iruma and that baby bird hadn't arrived. And when they returned, no one could believe what they had seen. And Iruma was once again in the spotlight. After that test, everyone took their badge from an owl's pocket, but when Iruma tried, the owl flew away. And to everyone's surprise, Iruma received a ring on his index finger. Only Subnik realized what it was out of everyone else. His father had previously told him about the Demon King, who would possess the Golden Ring of Solomon and form a blood pact with demons. So Subnik assumed that Iruma would be the next Demon King because the demon throne had been vacant for a long time. Then, out of nowhere, a black shadow emerged from the ring, annoying the entire academy with its scream. So when Alice tried to remove it with just a hint of its touch, He had his mana drained. So Caligo was about to get rid of Iruma's hand because he couldn't take it off, but Sullivan arrived and stopped him. Sullivan gave a large amount of his mana to that ring, but it didn't bother him. So, just to be clear, he told them it's the Ring of Gluttony, not the Demon King ring. Because Iruma's rank cannot be measured in any test, he was given the first rank, Alpha as a default. So they went to the class where they were supposed to grow a plant from their mana. That plant would resemble their nature, but Iruma doubted he could do it because he is a human and lacks mana. But then the ring came into play. Did you notice Sullivan bestowing mana on the ring? That plant blossomed into a cherry blossom with that powerful mana. And it's a tree that no one has ever seen in the demon world. As a result, Student Council President Ameri became suspicious of Iruma's human status because she was watching his activities. However, Ameri has a secret bookshelf in her office filled with Japanese love manga. She is unable to read Japanese words, but she makes assumptions based on the drawings. But she hurriedly took that book with her while she lost track of time. And when she bumped into Iruma in the lobby, she compared her situation to all the scenes from love manga and assumed that Iruma would do the same to make her fall for her. So she instinctively followed Iruma's movement as he attempted to assist her. However, Ameri dropped the book, and Iruma's happened to know that manga because he was a helper in its creation. However, since Iruma recognized it, Ameri's doubt about Iruma's humanity has grown stronger. But she tried not to tell anyone because she was so obsessed with that love manga that she had Iruma read it for her. After that day, Ameri called Iruma every day so he could read the love manga for her, and seeing the protagonist of the manga have that much ambition for her love warmed Ameri's heart. She also had that kind of ambition for her job as a student council member, which made Iruma realize that he doesn't have any kinds of ambition. Ameri motivates Iruma, and so Iruma decided to climb the ranks. And so the ranking exams were approaching, and it was a dodgeball game, with the rules being simple. They could use magic but only on the ball. So Iruma asked his grandfather Sullivan to train him, and he gave him a spell that allowed him to use his mana stored in the ring for the match. However, it would be the same as cheating by utilizing someone else's mana to his advantage. Sullivan was relieved that Iruma was righteous and strengthened his hand so that he could at least handle the force of the ball coming towards him. So Opera took on the task of training Iruma Sind, who is much stronger in physical strength, and with the hard work Iruma puts into this training, he was finally able to catch the ball with his bare hands without the use of magic powers. So the test day begins, and Alice and Iruma are divided into different teams. Throughout the game, all of the others were eliminated, leaving only the best. And it was Alice and Iruma. Seeing Iruma's determination, Alice threw the ball with his all-out fire spell, and Iruma was able to throw it back, proving that all of his training had paid off. And Iruma climbed one rank, and Ameri was pleased to see that Iruma now has the desire to become stronger in order to climb the ranks. After Iruma was promoted, a new summoning teacher was assigned to him. Anyway, it was time for the battlers to hunt. A battlers is similar to a club in that battlers or club captains recruit first years to join their club. And since student council is also a club, Ameri invited Iruma to join her. However, others misinterpreted it and thought she invited Alice. However, Iruma's ring stared him down, dragging him toward a senior named Kiryu. Iruma's ring was drawn to Kiryu because his locket is made of the same material. Despite being a third year, he was still a second rank bet, and thus even juniors were superior in front of him. Anyway, since joining a battler will necessitate Iruma's use of magic, Sullivan modified his ring so that he could use magic. He created 3 common levels in the ring, ranging from low to high magic usage, as well as an emergency level that can release all of the magic at once. With it, Iruma was casually wandering around looking for a battler that would be a good fit for him when he came across Kiryu's magical apparatus battler. He is a founding member of that club. And he has a lot of interesting magical and one-of-a-kind items, so Iruma decided to join him. So, find out what happens in the second half of the video, and in the meantime, subscribe to the channel for more anime recaps.